Hello everyone and welcome to today's Starseed Healing Circle. Welcome to February. This year is flying. Okay, so we are going to look at today's session. Today we are continuing our journey in Egypt. We find ourselves in Philae, and this is a beautiful, magnificent Isis temple. Let's start with our tuning though. And just see, what do we have on the cards today? Just healing wise, today is more of an attunement, so it's tuning into the energy of Isis, Isis as a goddess, as an archetypal energy, as a mother archetype, as a healer archetype, an alchemical or alchemist archetype, and so today you want to be able to see anything that you want to transform, transmute, change, heal, bring balance to. This is what we want to work with today. So let's do our tune-in. Tune-in wise, it also is quite appropriate. The light code that we're working with is the light code for Quad Yin. And there's many similarities between Quad Yin, the Chinese goddess, or the female version of Buddha, and Isis. And it is believed by some that the Egyptians borrowed Isis from Quad Yin, and also vice versa, that the Chinese borrowed Quad Yin from Isis. So who will know? It could be that both Isis and Quad Yin come from an older archetypal energy. So let's drop into the heart space. Think about what it is that you would like to receive, what you would like to release, let go of, heal, or bring into your life. When you're ready, open your eyes and allow your eyes to very gently trace those lines, or just land where they land. Think about your goal, your focus, and just bring all of that into your awareness. And you may stay here as long as you need. So as I mentioned, we went to Philae. And let's have a look at the setup. I'll guide you through our images as always, and then we're going to go into our attunement. Okay, so the temple of Philae is an Isis temple that was situated on an island, and I'll talk a little bit more about this soon. But this is the floor plan of the island. It's quite a big temple complex, and I'll circle back to this particular image in a bit. But yeah, this is our sort of top view. It was quite an adventure to get there. You get there by boat because it's on an island. And it's actually quite magnificent because you've got this beautiful Nile River, and then you see this island, and then just this temple that majestically pops up on this island. I can have my image here. And so you've got all the boats going off in the same direction, and it's quite interesting because as you look around, you see boats going, and you know they're all going to the same location, which sets you up for when you get there, because as you can see here from the top view, there's a lot of people around in this particular temple. This is quite a well-known temple. It's well visited. This is not a photo I took. It's just a photo I found on the internet, but it just gives you an idea as to how the temple is situated on the island, and also all the boats around. And I thought it just sort of really captured the moment. Also the sort of the docking area where the boats are docking. There's a market space over there, so they're selling all kinds of goodies in here, and then all the way up as well. So leading up to the temple, once you've left your boat, you start off moving towards the temple. There is a small little temple on the side. This is a younger temple, or it's not, or a more recent temple than some of the other temples. This has got more of a Greco-Roman influence. This place is bursting with people though. So when we arrived there were already people queuing. It was super busy, and it was also super hot. But this is our sort of the main entrance area with all the pillars leading up to the temple. The columns, you can see from the designs here that they are more recent, and what you'll see on these rows of columns, this is the columns leading in. The faces sitting on top, those are the face of Hathor, goddess of love. So this whole entrance hall is basically goddess Hathor, or love, or joy, music, celebration, and all of that, before you enter into the Isis temple, which is the main temple complex here. There are these magnificent areas where there's like an entire boulder that's been cut, and then the temple is built around it, and you've got the hieroglyphs and things on it. What I can say, however, is when I arrived here, something just didn't feel right, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And the whole time walking through the entire temple, I was like, something's not right, something's not right. It was with me the entire time. Heading off into the Isis temple, I'm just going to quickly hide this. This is a famous little room. It's probably one of the darkest rooms. There are other darker rooms, but this is one of the darker rooms in the temple, and not very clear to see what's happening here. This was sort of a blessing chamber before going. This is on one of the side ones, but before you would go into the Holy of Holies, this is one of those smaller little temple spaces. And the depiction here on the left is of Isis blessing the pharaoh, and you'll notice that his hand is right on her vajayjay, like Oprah would say, and there are 3 Ankh symbols, or symbols, hanging from the hand, and so that is Isis offering life to the pharaoh. She also has her hands up and sending healing, or beaming healing into or towards him. So this is one of those little chambers and it's really small. Like you could fit maybe about 15 people really tightly into this space. So it was a little bit of a passage. We struggled a bit here because we had our guide with us who was trying to tell us the story and the information while other people were trying to push through and whatever. So this temple had quite a energy to it. And in fact, I did not even go into the Holy of Holies in this particular temple. I left. I'll get into that in a little moment. All the way along the temple, there are depictions of all kinds of gods and goddesses. So yes, we have the main depiction as Isis, but this temple complex was a very important temple throughout that specific period, and for multiple different gods and goddesses. And so there's worship happening here for all kinds of things. So like the Opet festival that happens usually around August, that was a big thing that was celebrated over here. And so these gods and goddesses were depicted here as well. This is another small chamber that I found that I've really loved. It was one that most people seem to have ignored for some reason. It's a little chamber under a passageway, under a staircase. And on the left-hand side, you'll see there is the god He, which is the god of eternity. And so that's taken from that side. And then when you turn around, the second photo is me turning around in this passage. So it's literally a little passage. Very tiny chamber, but I went into this one and it was really dark. I used a flash to take these photos, and most people ignored the space, I guess, because it was dark, number one. Number two, they sort of go in and go, oh, it's just a small little passage, and then they walk out. So I really like these little nooks and crannies where I have an opportunity to just be quiet in the moment and to do a little short meditation, because usually the guards and security would walk around here saying, no meditation, no meditation, no meditation, wherever you go. This was also a time when I was trying to get to the Holy of Holies, and it was so packed, and the people were all fighting and clamoring to get into the Holy of Holies. And for me, I felt that the temple was defiled by humans traipsing around the place and dishonoring the space. It, for me, felt sad, but at the same time, something felt very wrong in the space, and I didn't know what it was. So when it came to Holy of Holies, and it was like people are pushing against me and whatever, I lost it, and I went like, I need to get out of here. And that's what I did. I left. I went out, and I decided I'm not going in there. I'm done. So this is the little temple on the outskirts of the temple. So I'd rather spend some time there. This little space was mostly empty. There were a few people hovering around, but it was quite an empty space. And it was just a nice, peaceful space. So I stayed around this temple, and there was, where just behind me there's another little temple space where I stayed, and I rather enjoyed the view, and I was outside more and enjoyed that more. I also discovered these other passageways that most people don't know about. They're sitting at the back of the temple on the side, and they had, from these spaces, there were little passageways to go through. And there were some steps going down to the river and all kinds of things. So I actually enjoyed exploring this side a lot more. And going up the one side, Walter took a little fun photo of me. And this is probably the only fun photo of me you'll see somewhere. Actually, there's one more fun photo you'll see of me on the trip. I think for most part, I take things too seriously, and I forget, not that I forget to have fun, but I'm very into what I do when I'm in these spaces, and I tend to be respectful and focused. And so when Walter told me to pose, I was a little bit reluctant, but it was a fun photo. I really enjoy this photo of me pushing against the sort of pylon there for the main temple. So this leads us to why this temple space just did not feel right. As our group finally reconvened at our spot, our guide said to us that this particular temple was actually moved. And we are not in the right location. I don't even think we're in the right direction. So the original temple was 100 meters or more, maybe about 200 meters off into a different direction. And when our guide said that to us, I went like, okay, that explains perhaps why I wasn't feeling right over here. Luckily, our guide said to us that he had organized a trip for us to the original site of the temple. And all that's left at the original site of the temple is just like a main gate, like a little gateway that they kept there for keepsake. And it was like, okay, this makes sense. So this is now recently. I went and did a bit more of a search. This was a painting that was done way back, showing the Isis temple above ground on an island, which, yes, it was on an island. And yes, so that was there. This is a photograph of the temple in 1930. So in 1930, this temple was already underwater. And it was around the 1930s that they decided to move the temple to a new location. So we'll have to run right back to the beginning. Where were we? Here. This was the original site and location and angle and direction of the temple. And it's just the gateways of the one side that's still standing. So this location, they've actually moved the entire temple to a different island, which if you look here, you'll see that the temple takes on the entire island. Just go back here. You'll see here, this temple complex is a lot smaller than this island. whereas in the new location, it literally is taking up the entire island. So they had to find a new location for this island where they then rebuilt the entire temple. So going onto the boat, as we've moved away from the temple, there are these glyphs on this pile of rocks that is sitting in the river. And I think this pile of rocks would have been the back end of the temple, because if we look at that original layout on the map, you could actually see this mount behind the temple. As you go around, you can see there is the gateways. That's the only two pillars that they kept of the original complex. So, and unfortunately, it was high tide, and as such, we could not go on land. But usually, when it's low tide or when the tide is lower, then you can go to the pillars on the right-hand side, and you can actually go onto the land. And I think if you look at in the back, there's a little bit more of a temple or building sticking out there on the hill. You can actually walk to those, but because it was high tide, we could not. Our plan was to go on land and to do a little ceremony there, and we then decided to do the ceremony between the pillars in the boat. So that's just a little bit more of a close-up. So our boat went in between the pillars, and that's where we sat down to do our ceremony. And we took tools and offerings and things that we all had amongst each other. One person had a mirror. That was my sistrum sitting over there on the left. The blue glass that you've got is Galina, who bought a piece of Nubian glass. We took a piece of one of the reeds to use as a cleansing tool. People had their favorite crystals that they put out. Walter had candles in his bag. Someone had an Isis statue with her. There was a little smudge stick. So we had all kinds of little tools and toys and things that we had, and we just made this impromptu little altar in the boat, and we did a ceremony working with the energy of Isis. So it was quite special. We stayed there for quite a while. Oh, and I must say, when we got here to this, it was just like, wow, it feels right. And it was tangible and very, very strong and clear that this particular location felt right. The direction, the angle, everything felt right. For me, this again it showed the importance of location, of the original placement of things. The Egyptians built things in a specific way and in specific directions for a reason. They wanted to gather information and energy in an area and then send it out into their surroundings. With the new location, it's not aligned in the proper way. It's not in the right direction, and therefore the energy just did not feel right. It would be interesting to also chat to other people who's been there and to see what their experiences was of this place. By the time we were done with our ceremony, we were heading back. It was already getting dark, and so this is just on our boat trip back to our Nubian restaurant that we went to for our dinner. We were going past the Isis temple on the island of Philae again, and there was just a beautiful little silhouette of that temple, and it looked very peaceful, but still not quite the right place. So what we want to do in today's session is to focus, as I'd mentioned, on attunement for Isis. And you can use this energy as you wish. This is not worshipping Isis. This is not taking on a new religion. We are simply doing an attunement. I will be off screen, but I will guide you through things. And I want you to just use this as a meditation. You can close your eyes, you can sit down, you can lie down, receive the information. Occasionally, I may say to you that you can repeat the following words after me, and that you can do if you choose. Whatever you can do to sense, feel, and receive the energy that I will be beaming to you. I will be using the experience at the Temple of Philae of both the original temple as well as the moved location, and getting us tuned into the frequency, especially of the original location, and connecting with our ceremony that we did at that temple site. So really allow yourself to feel as much as you want to and can, and use this time to receive insights, healing, or inspiration. Perhaps make a few notes along the way if there's anything that comes up for you. So I'm going to switch the image over to here. This is just a few depictions of Isis, and we'll keep that in place throughout this session, and you can get yourself into a beautiful, comfortable position. Ancient name for Isis is Seth, and the hieroglyphic representation of Seth is a throne and a bread, and then the goddess herself, so the feminine form or shape. So the throne is the main area, that's the owl or owls. The bread is just the letter T, and that is normal for anything that's feminine in ancient Egyptian. So anything that ends in T when it comes to a name is a female or feminine name, and then the glyph of the female or the goddess that sits behind that is to depict that we are working with a goddess. So sit comfortably, and we're going to do a bit of breathing here. We're going to count in and out to a count of 5 each. You'll breathe and I count. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Exhale all the air out of your lungs. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may choose to recite the following words after me, or just be like a sponge and soak them up. I breathe the sweet breath which comes forth from thy mouth. I behold thy beauty every day. It is my desire that I may be rejuvenated with life through love of Thee. Give me Thy hands holding Thy Spirit, that I may receive it and may live by it. Call Thou upon my name unto eternity, and it shall never fail. In a moment, we are going to go into an invocation. Visualize each word as you utter it. Breathe life into it. Invest it with passion. You may follow along with me or just be like a sponge. Hail to Thee, O Isis. Hail the Mother of Horus. I come as a pilgrim on your path. Bless me. Allow me to see through the blue haze that surrounds you. Bestow upon me the gift of smell. Fill my nostrils with the aromas of lotus, rose, and orange blossom. I drink in this fragrance, and I am dizzy with delight. I behold Thy heavenly presence as You appear before me. Thou who sits upon the throne of royal purple, hail to Thee, O Isis. Hail, great goddess who appears before me. I tremble at Your presence. I feel my robe gently moving in the air as Nekhbet, the vulture goddess, slowly flaps her wings above me. Isis, allow me to look upon You, O gracious one. The liquid blue of Your cold eyes survey me. Your carmine-colored lips smile upon me, and Your face shines like 1,000 moons. Your beauteous face radiates love for me. You inspire comfort, communion, and harmony. My fears fall away this very instant. Hail to Thee, Horus. Hail to Thee, O child of the goddess. I behold You as You nestle against Your mother's left knee. I behold You, O golden-skinned child. thou who wears the sidelock of youth. With just the pressure of your tiny right toe, you control the red serpent. I regard the contented smile on your royal lips. Is it the knowledge you control, or the power you have over the snake? Oh, that ye may impart the knowledge of this power to me. Ar ek qua ertheta, a ehe ha, tet hero en iset, nuk kusesev, neseni, ta pa maeti. I have entered into the sacred mysteries, and standing behind the throne on the day of Isis, I drive back disaster, sail forth and write the truth. Great Isis, I pray thee, speak to me thyself, so that I may learn more from thee. Open my ears, so I may hear your sacred voice. Open my ears, so I may hear your sacred voice. Open my ears, so I may hear your sacred voice. I am she who triumphant over death to bring my beloved husband brother back to life. I am mistress of the sun and daughter of the Lord gods. I am wife of a king and carried the young god within me to the sacred place and gave birth to him. I am Isis, great mother of gods, the queen of the Mamisi. Look upon me as I truly am, unfettered by your hopes and your fantasies. I have lingered in the shadows, watching you shape and unshape me, age after age, an empty image not worthy of my name. I am power. I am love. I am eternity. Remember this, my child. Through me shall you find the greater mysteries of life. I speak of many things that are known and unknown. My breath to your breath, my heart to your heart. Take up the goblet and drink heartily the elixir of life. Feel the serpent of knowledge as it intertwines itself around your arm. Coming back into your heart space. Listen to your own inner voice as it says, if the essence and perfection of all good are comprehended in the Goddess, and if I adhere to a more excellent nature, I will always obtain a union with her, contemplation of truth and the possession of intellect. For a knowledge of all the gods is accompanied with a conversation to and knowledge of myself. Be silent and think about what was uttered, what was thought, what was seen. Come back into your body now and say the following words. I shall always remember that all deities are true and valid. All deities are emanations of the Supreme One. And I will not allow myself to become obsessed with one aspect, that I denigrate others. For this is not true love of deity. Come back into the space. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. We're going to breathe in and out for a count of 5 each. You breathe, I count. Exhale all the air out of your lungs. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In your own time, you may open your eyes, and I wish you a good day for now.